Hey everyone, welcome back to Williamson Ridge Outdoors. Today, I'm going to show you how to install the backhoe back onto the Kioti CS2520. So I've already made a video about taking the backhoe off, and I'm actually doing this video separate because if you just take it off and then put it right back on, then everything's pretty much in the same position. But if you take it off and have it off for a while, then as you can see, everything flattens out and this thing's sitting on the ground. So I wanted to show you how this works whenever you get in this situation and how you get it back onto the tractor, even though it's way away from the position that you started off whenever you took it off the tractor. So let's jump right into it. I'm gonna go grab the tractor and get backed up here to the backhoe, and I'll show you how easy this is to put back on. So I went ahead and shut the tractor off and released the pressure by working my loader valve. But the hardest part about this actually is really kind of backing up and lining the tractor up to the backhoe. You can't see that from the operator's seat. While I was backing up a few times, I about killed the engine because I lifted my weight up off the seat trying to look back here at this. I don't know if there's any better way to line this up, but it is a little bit tough to see that when you're backing into it. You're just trying to get these lined up basically in between those brackets right there. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and connect their lines, and keep in mind that your lines are collar matched. So you've got a red zip tie on your line right here. That's going to go into your line with the red zip tie over here. And that popped right on. So now my connection here will go right together. This last one, this is actually already loose enough, so it's going to go right up here and push right into place. So now that I've got the hydraulic connections connected, I'm going to go ahead and start the tractor up. Then I'm going to start moving the backhoe around a little bit in order to get it into position to be able to put it on the tractor. So I'm going to go ahead and start raising the backhoe up a little bit. And you can kind of see how, as I've raised it, it's tilted towards me. I'm going to go ahead and back the tractor up just a little bit more. If you're not lined up perfectly, you can see here I'm actually hitting the bracket. I'm going to see if I can move the backhoe just a little bit and let that move over. So now, as I'm getting this thing set on, and I've got this pin almost lined up on the bottom. Well, the other side wasn't lined up, and I'm actually using the boom and stuff here on the backhoe and moving it to the side. And as I move that boom to the side, it's actually moving the backhoe and lining it into place. So now I'm sitting at that pin, and I can let my outriggers up. And now I've moved my backhoe again a little bit in order to let it drop down on the pins. And now my outriggers are actually ready to come all the way up. So I've got the pins connected down here on the bottom. And now all I got to do is just raise up my boom to line up my pins up here on the top. So you can see my outriggers are out. Everything's just sitting on the backhoe right here. And as I move this up and down, then you can see the tilt change on the backhoe itself. So once you get the bottoms in place, you can just raise your boom or lower your boom to bring it up into place. Now also make sure that you don't pinch your lines right here. Everything's loose right there. So we're going to get this lined up in order to drop our pins or to put our pins back in. Now you don't need to force these, so if it won't slide in, then you just need to make a little bit more of adjustment. So now that it's all the way in, you can just slide your pin to the proper position and the lever will drop down into a keeper hole and that locks it in place. So now that we have one side of it, all we got to do is the same thing on this side. A little easier to see over here because you don't have your hydraulic lines. This pin should go in, and if it don't just slide right in there, then adjust your boom a little bit. And you can see it slide right in. And then lock your pin into place. So now we're ready to go ahead and raise our outriggers all the way up. Then go ahead and take the rest of her weight off of her boom. And then curl everything in. So that's all there is to reconnecting your backhoe to your Kioti CS2520. It's not very hard at all. It's just a little bit, it takes a little bit of patience. You can't just, you know, push your levers all one direction and then be like, oh, it'll line up perfect. You've got to finesse it just a little bit and just kind of watch and see what those connections are doing. And if it goes the wrong way, then just move your controls the other way and it should kind of move in that direction. Now, you could make this a little bit simpler if you can get that straight shot in and back up to the backhoe perfect the first time. But it's hard to do that considering, you know, like this one was all the way flattened down against the ground. So you have to back up, hook up your lines, and then that way you can manipulate the backhoe a little bit to adjust where you need it at. Now, there is enough slack in the lines that you can raise it up a little bit once you get them connected and then pull up and readjust the tractor a little bit. But I'm finding it's actually easier to start getting the weight on the pins on the on your hitch back here and then manipulate using the boom on the backhoe and just move it side to side using the backhoe itself. And that actually makes it a lot easier to me to hook it back up. So like I was saying before, there is another video that shows me taking this off, but the reason I've done it separate is because I wanted to be able to show this once it flattened out and sits down on the ground and kind of gets in the hardest way to hook it up. And I wanted to show that it's still pretty simple to hook up. So thanks for checking out the video today. If you enjoyed it, I appreciate you hitting that thumbs up button. Follow along for all the other videos we're going to be having on this Kioti CS2520. And until next time, keep it outdoors, and we'll see you in the next one.